Hey guys, the Will Coca podcast is teamed up with Find the Good. Find the Good is a brand that helps reinforce good habits in both mental health and physical well-being. Use the code WillCoca to receive 10% off your next purchase. And remember, 10% of the profits go to Mental Health America. Welcome to another 5-Minute Friday. We made it to Friday, folks. I've been thinking about that gap that no one really warns you about. That space from when you decide to change and when that change actually shows up in your life. It's uncomfortable, unpredictable, and often invisible. It's a weird stretch of time where we're doing the work, but the results aren't really there yet. We've committed in our minds and maybe changed our habits, but the world around us hasn't really caught up. We're no longer who we used to be, but we're not quite who we're becoming. This gap is where personal growth lives. It's messy, it's slow, often unglamorous. It's waking up and choosing to keep going even when nothing seems to be changing on the outside. It's learning to sit with yourself, your fears, your patterns, your past, and not run. You begin to realize that growth isn't just about results, but it's about learning to respond differently. It's about building discipline, self-compassion, and emotional honesty. You start to see your old coping mechanisms, your need for approval, your habits of avoidance, and instead of blaming others or numbing out, you start to face them head on. That is growth, even if no one else can see it. The inner work can feel isolating, especially when your relationships aren't changing at the same pace. When you begin to grow, you start noticing what no longer fits, conversations, the dynamics, the expectations you even place on yourself. Sometimes people want you to stay the same because your growth forces them to look at their own stagnation. Other times, they simply don't understand the journey you're on. You may feel a painful distance between you and the people you once felt close to. The invitations stop, the texts slow down, the inside jokes feels forced, small talk arises. This isn't always out of malice. It's just what happens when you start changing and others don't. Still, the hardest shifts happen inside your own heart. You might grieve the past version of yourself. You might not even understand it. The one who tolerated more, played small to keep others big. The one who stayed quiet so other people would like them. Letting that version go, even for something better, is a real kind of loss. But that grief is also a sign of growth. It means you're no longer willing to live in that way that costs you your peace, your integrity, and most importantly, your purpose. Over time, you begin to trust the process. Not because it gets easier, but because you've seen what it builds in you. Resilience, clarity, a deeper connection with yourself. You start making choices not out of fear or scarcity, but from alignment. You stop asking people who've never been where you're trying to go for directions. You begin to seek out those who speak the same language, not just in words, but in values, in vision, and in pace. Eventually, the external change shows up. Things click. Opportunities align. The people around you begin to reflect your inner growth. But even then, you carry the lessons of the in-between, that sacred space that taught you how to hold uncertainty, how to keep showing up, how to grow roots, not just wings. So yes, the gap between who you were and who you're becoming can be long and hard, but it's also where the deepest, most personal transformation takes place. And when you come through it, you don't just arrive somewhere new, you arrive as someone new. Thanks for listening, folks. That's been another 5-Minute Friday.